You guys, we're back for a second. It's Pop Culture Mondays on Thursdays, and it's me, Brooke.
On Thursdays.
For an emergency pod, we are back. Okay, first of all, we are here in a very different look and feel. This is just a little teaser. We needed to do an emergency pod. Why? Because the world is falling apart. Pop culture or not, the worlds are colliding. I'm in Los Angeles. It was important to talk to you and to talk about what's happening and to talk about what's unfolding on social media. And we just felt, rather than waiting until the relaunch of the podcast, which is coming in July, that we would take this time and do an emergency pod. We now have a bit of a different look and feel. I have an amazing new producer, Ethan, who I am so grateful to, and a very exciting development. And we can talk more about it later in July. As many of you who've been listening for a long time know, that I've been doing this for a number of years. And I was doing it sort of for my 10,000 hours, right? Practice, practice, practice. I didn't market it. I was really, you guys who've been listening, my early fans and supporters, and probably my friends and family. So I thank you. But I really wanted to get comfortable with the medium. And I certainly did that in audio. And I spent 2 years talking every week, getting that muscle memory of being a podcaster. And I know everybody has a podcast, so I'm not taking that too seriously. But it was time for me to take it to the next level. And it was important to do video and to be able to show you so many of the videos, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram or the tweets, rather than just talk about them and point them in my show notes. So that was the idea of video, and needed to figure out my new sea legs, if you will. So it was a whole nother learning curve, still learning. But for now, we have to talk about the world as it stands, because I am getting so many emails, texts, and phone calls from my friends, family, and others from around the country and around the world, mainly asking if I'm okay, because they know I'm in Los Angeles. And it's not like the fires. I mean, it does feel like something is always on fire in California, literally or figuratively. But in this case, people really have wrong information. They really do. First of all, if you're not from LA, you're not really familiar with the lay of the land and the real estate, if you will. But also, really, the media themselves, whether they're the good guys or the bad guys, have been perpetuating this sort of different scenario than what is the reality. And I think that's been playing out as a result of the news, as a result of some people on social media, and obviously as a result of our current administration. So first and foremost, let's talk about what's happening in Los Angeles, because it's indicative to what is going to happen, I think, elsewhere. My personal, again, this is just personal. I am not a reporter. I am not an analyst. I am not an expert. I am just a very intuitive person with high EQ who also watches a lot of things unfold on social media and has her finger on the pulse of all things pop culture. And pop culture, I've said this a lot in my newsletter, can be a lot of fun, silly, trends unfolding on TikTok, dances, things around Taylor Swift, absolutely all of that. But pop culture is about popular culture. It's not just about celebrity news or trends that are happening on social media. It's also things that are happening in a discourse of the political sort of environment that make its way into social media and has the ability to sort of cut through in other ways that it wouldn't otherwise, if that makes sense. So in pop culture, it can be, unfortunately, not all fun and silliness. It can also be pretty serious. I have also said this in my newsletter. We are Trump-free for the most part. We really are. I've started Pop Culture Mondays, the newsletter, in the first Trump administration. And I did that as an escape. We all needed a fucking escape. This was kids being put in cages. This was when we thought it was as bad as it could be. We were wrong. But just for historical purposes, the newsletter has always intended to be Trump-free because we needed a break. Like, even when they started putting up statues of Donald Trump, it happened in Washington Square Park, for example, back in the first administration, where there were naked statues of Donald Trump where he has a micro PP. And I do think, I'm sorry, I'm saying this, I do think that this is the cause of so much of the drama that we probably have. Like, it's always when it comes to men and the, So the statues of his micro PP that we then had to put in the newsletter. I had to put it. You couldn't not put that in. It was hilarious. The social posts were hilarious. This was before TikTok, so it was mainly on Instagram and Twitter. People didn't like it. People who read the newsletter were like, no, we really need an escape from Trump. And I really took that to heart. However, we're in a very different time. And I've actually been asked by so many people. And even this past week with the newsletter, I had to cover the breakdown of the bromance between Donald Trump and Elon, because obviously, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We also had to talk a little bit about what was happening in LA. And this was back on Monday. And people asked for it because we can't ignore it. And I'm not going to make this a political podcast. This is by no means a political podcast. And I am not even anti any party, by the way. I am anti what's happening. I'm anti the lack of empathy. I am anti cruelty. I just find this state of the world a terrible place to be right now. And a lot of this is to do not just with the administration and what they're putting forth, but the media, both sides, whether you're Fox News or CNN, I have to say it, and misunderstandings, people, bad actors out on social media perpetuating false news, fake news. And there is a lot of that. So first and foremost, let's talk about what's happening in LA, because so many people are like, are you okay? Are you able to leave your house? Is it safe? 1000%. What's happening is tragic, and it's tragic on so many levels. A peaceful protest, and there are peaceful protests throughout the city. And what people need to recognize is Los Angeles, size-wise, is bigger than, I think, 40 U.S. states. Like, the city, the whole area of the whole city of Los Angeles is bigger than 40 U.S. states. It's a huge city. It's a huge population. It is very spread out. So when you are hearing things or seeing politicians or media or influencers tweet that Los Angeles has fallen, right? Olympus has fallen, or London has fallen. Those movies that starred Gerard Butler, right? Didn't they all star Gerard Butler? And my God, so many great. Aaron Eckhart, I think, played the president. Morgan Freeman played vice president. I loved those movies. I also used to party with Gerard Butler back in the club days of New York City, but that's another story. At any rate, LA has not fallen. So there are peaceful protests throughout the city. And like any place, when there are peaceful protests, there will be bad actors as well, whether they're actually politically motivated or whether they're disruptors. I don't know if this whole, like, they're anarchists being paid to be there and cause scenes. I don't know. I can't speak for that. But initially, these protests started peacefully. And the one that we're talking about now is in downtown Los Angeles, which is not like, it's not like when you say downtown Manhattan, like, which would encompass Soho is considered downtown. Greenwich Village is considered downtown. The financial district is considered the financial district, but could also technically be downtown. But when you say downtown New York, most of us would say that's south of 14th Street, maybe south of 23rd, but it's downtown is a very generalized area. In Los Angeles, downtown is a very specific area. It's not just like a generalized area of Los Angeles. So you have to think about LA as a bunch of small towns, basically. Santa Monica is its own town. West Hollywood is its own town. Brentwood is its own little town. The Palisades was and is going to be, again, its own town. Mar Vista is its own town. Malibu is its own town. Downtown is its own town. I know that's really complicated because most states, a downtown is just like a general area. But in this city, downtown, very specific, it is really the only true urban area of Los Angeles, like fully urban, where you have just tall buildings, lots and lots and lots of buildings, lots and lots of industrial sort of structures, things like that. It is also tried to be a new sort of residential location at one point, and that changed a lot during COVID. There is a big Skid Row, literally called Skid Row, in downtown. It's where the courts are. There is a lot going on there as well in terms of the arts. So there is like the Disney Theater. There's a lot of things downtown, but it is not the center of all things that happen in LA, if that does make sense. So to get to downtown, it's usually off the 101, and there are protests in that area, in a small area that then bled into the 101. And we're talking hundreds of people, like 600, 700, 800 people. We're not talking about 30,000 people. We're not even talking about 10,000 people. We're not even talking about 5,000 people. We were talking about hundreds and hundreds of people, and people who came out, like we saw in so many of these communities around the country, came out to protest what ICE was doing in their neighborhoods, because we have been told that there were going to be mass deportations. We knew this was coming. We were also told that it was going to be criminals. We are sending the worst back. We are sending the people who have criminal records and the people who don't belong in this country and who don't deserve to be in this country, who have hurt people, to get out. And I understand the need to do that. They did that under Obama, by the way. They did that under Biden, by the way. However, we've seen ICE now enter into these small communities, these masked men wearing like camo, like they're in Fallujah, like we're going into combat, and they're entering into restaurants, schools, hospitals. They are going in and creating terror and fear and taking people. We are seeing children not just being separated, but children being arrested. There's a video of a 12-year-old girl literally being handcuffed and frisked by a male ICE officer. This is what people are protesting, and this is what people came out to defend their community and to help make sure that their community, as much as they could, be safe. And that's where this all started. And it's all televised. And you guys have to remember, Donald Trump is a producer. And he's genius. And he's a genius politician, if that's what we call the state of the world that we're in right now. But he's a genius producer. And he saw his moment. He saw the opportunity to make a spectacle spectacular. And that is what it is. And he said, we're going to use this opportunity. We're going to seize the moment. We're going to go after Gavin Newsom. We are going to 1,000% make this a television moment. We are going to make sure our base sees how crazy California is. It's almost like he's trying to incite a war with California. And maybe he is. I don't really know. But what happened is this escalated only when he said, guess what? We're sending in the National Guard. The National Guard, just to give context, has not been brought to California since 1992, or maybe that's Los Angeles, since 1992. And that was during the Rodney King, the whole riots with Rodney King, which, let me tell you, completely different scenario. That was when the National Guard was needed. And it's also done with the approval of the governor, of the sitting governor of that state. That is how it all works. So none of that happened. You had peaceful protests. Okay, maybe you had one or two people that were causing problems, but we had no burning cars. We had no burning Waymos. We had nobody throwing bricks and so forth. This was all done after the National Guard was called in. And so this is where it's all happening, but it's really in a very, very isolated area. What they're not showing you on camera, and that's the news across the board and social media across the board, are the peaceful areas where you have the National Guard to one side. And it feels very reminiscent of like the Vietnam War protests where the National Guard's sitting there and a girl's like putting flowers into the barrels of the guns. There's a woman who's doing bubbles all around. There's literally a woman and she has these big bubble things, and there, you see the National Guard lined up, and she's just standing in the middle of the street with her bubble maker. And then there are bad actors. There are bad, for sure, actors coming in and looting and all of that. But Donald Trump knew that's what's going to happen when you cause chaos. People come in and take advantage. It's like when we had the fires, people came in and raided homes and stores. They're always that scenario. And I am not going to defend the mayor of Los Angeles either, Karen Bass, who's problematic in her own right. She also is missing EQ for whatever reason. I don't know how she's a politician, doesn't have it, but here we are. And she's just stoking the flames. But the person who is kicking ass right now, the person that none of us saw coming out of left field, who now has social media being like, our daddy is here, is Gavin fucking Newsom. And so I just want to play this little interview that Gavin gave, because you have the president, you have Donald Trump saying he's going to arrest him. He is going to arrest him, whatnot. And listen to what Gavin said. If you haven't heard it already, I'm be surprised. But you also have to see him. You have to see how he looks.
Tom Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his work. He said you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Lay your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Lay your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
So let's just give it a minute, because I'm here for it. Now, I've not always been the biggest Gavin fan. Also, another man that I used to party with back in the day. That's another story for another podcast. But before he was really an elected official, perhaps. Great guy in the fun party stage, but not been my favorite governor. But I have a neighbor, Patrick, who is a diehard Donald Trump supporter. Diehard. Literally, I had to just grin and bear it, because he loves my dog and he always gives treats to Potato when we walk by. But he's a diehard Trump supporter. He said to me yesterday, holy fuck, what have we done? What have we done? I am so ashamed. I can't believe this. And look at Gavin Newsom, a man that I couldn't even look at for 2 seconds. I'm now like, hey, daddy. So there is a shift. I can't say how long that shift will last. I don't know if it's going to have legs or if Gavin will fuck up. That could happen. But right now we're seeing definitely a shift. And just look at this, for example, one of the many, many TikToks about that sort of love for Daddy Gav.
Yeah, bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
I have to know, is anyone else getting the most insane whiplash from Gavin Newsom right now? Because like a week ago, I was ready to hand him over to MAGA. Okay, I was gonna start calling him New Scum myself. I was done. I was gonna let him have them. Like, I thought he was going full John Fetterman on us and like platforming people like Charlie fucking Kirk. Like, I was done. I was like, you guys can have him, rip him apart, tear him to shreds. We don't want him anymore, okay? Like, I was over that man. Fucking New Scum myself, okay? But now, holy shit, he's like, he awoke. I don't know what happened, but he is standing up finally, okay? He's like, number one, he's suing Trump for sending the National Guard, because he sat there with the mayor of LA and was like, we don't need them. Everything has been very, very peaceful. Everything has been peaceful over here. Your people are going off and shooting fucking reporters. Reporters, literally. There's a literal video out there of a police officer taking aim at a reporter and shooting her with a rubber bullet. They're like, that's not on the protesters. That's on those people, okay? The protesters have been peaceful. They're like, we don't want the National Guard, okay? So he's suing Trump for sending the National Guard because he didn't want them. He didn't ask for them. The governor needs to ask for them. He didn't want them. He says, don't send them. Okay? And then number two, he is saying to Tom Homan and all of ICE, come and get me. Stop detaining literal American citizen babies who are American citizens. Stop detaining them. Get me. If you wanted to come detain someone, come get me. Come get me. Arrest me. You know? Like, Daddy, where have you been? Because now I'm like Newsom 2028 again. And I'm like, the whiplash is insane. It's insane.
I mean, I love it. You gotta love it. It's fun. And we have to have a little fun right now. And I think despite all of the fear and terror, we also have to find the humor. And that is where pop culture also intersects with this moment. Because as much as pop culture is keeping us sort of in the loop with news or what's happening in the fake news and so forth, it is also providing us an outlet for our fears and our stresses. And it's allowing all these creators, whether on TikTok, Instagram, Snap, however, to interact and share. And that is something that I love to see. But another example of how pop culture can go wrong or social media can go wrong is, have we seen the video of the amazing guy who's speaking to the National Guard and saying, like, you're better than this. This is not what you joined in this fight to fight for the Constitution, not for one man. So take a look at him.
Feel tough with your assault rifles and your sticks. You should be standing here with us. You're on the wrong side of history. We know you got a job to do, but you took an oath to the Constitution, not to the fascists in the White House. Think about what you're doing now. Think about what this means. Coming into our community. Peaceful community. People working their jobs. They send in men in military fatigues. Weapons of war into our communities. And you stand here and you allow it. I am sick and tired of it. You should be sick and tired of it. You think any of these people in the White House sending you these commands give a f*** about you? Not one of them do. They laugh at you. Our president laughs at you. He calls you fools. He said the people who died overseas in the military were chumps. That's who you're defending right now. Think about your place in history, ladies and gentlemen. Ask yourself when you wake up tomorrow. I don't know if you have kids. Ask yourself the future you want for your children. Is it this? You can answer me. Is it this? Do you feel good about this? You're tough behind your masks and your fatigues and with your weapons, but how do you feel on the inside? This is our community, and we will fight for it if we have to.
I mean, that's a citizen. That's somebody that's bravery, that is eloquent, that I'm wondering, did he change anyone's minds? I bet there has to be one or two minds he changed. But what's so funny is that all day yesterday, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn were trending on social media platforms because it was reported that that was their son. And I think it's actually Kurt Russell's son, like Wyatt Russell, I think his name was, but maybe I got the name wrong. But everybody was saying that was his son. It was Kurt Russell's son is standing up and doing what, you know, everybody needs to be doing. And look at him. And it was trending. It was everywhere. And I almost, like, for a split second was like, oh yeah, because I'm taking what people are telling me. It was in the news. This was fact. This was Kurt Russell's son. In fact, not Kurt Russell's son. And the guy spoke out and said, it's not like, this is me. I think his name is Chris, but it's not important who the messenger is. In fact, it's the message that's important. And my God, this guy just like, we need more like him. We need more like him. We also need more people like this guy, David, who out of central casting, I have to say, we've seen it. Have you heard it? Have you seen it? I've seen it a million times, but I can't get enough of it. Take a look.
You told me you got caught up in the tear gas as well. Describe what happened to you.
Oh, just tasted a little tear gas. Tasted like fascism.
That's right. It tastes like fascism. It got a little tear gas and it tasted like fascism. B. David, he was just like, I love he's wearing his like wraparound Oakley sunglasses and he did not miss a beat. Didn't miss a beat. If I was a total cynical bitch, I'd be like, that guy's a paid actor. And maybe he's an actor. He's in LA after all. But he was perfect. Flawless delivery. David, get an agent. Get yourself a gig right now because that was flawless. It tastes like fascism. We also have something unfolding outside of LA, but we are going to be confronted with this weekend. I will be out of the country, thank God. But I think it's this weekend. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. Maybe it's in another week or so. Shit. I have to figure out the timing. But it's the military parade for Donald Trump's birthday, which he's claiming it's not for his birthday, but it's his birthday. And it's costing like $1 gazillion to put on this very Russian, Chinese, like dictatory vibey thing with, you know, the military trucks. And I'm sure Donald Trump is going to be saluting to all of the people. And I'm just expecting the people to be walking and turning. You know how they are in the Russian and parades and so forth. Donald Trump was asked what he would do if they're protesters, and he said they will be arrested. They will be arrested and seen the full extent of the law put on them. The law is that we live in a democracy and we are able to protest. That is the law. So he is actually saying quite blatantly that he intends to break the law. If they're the protesters, again, peaceful protesters, I am not suggesting that violent protesters don't get arrested, but people standing there with billboards and signs protesting are going to get arrested. I mean, I do think that ultimately the architect of this is Goebbels. Stephen Miller. I really didn't actually mean to say that. I was thinking that there's this trend going on right now where people are comparing him to Goebbels, like visually, where he looks like Goebbels, which would be Goebbels' worst nightmare coming back as a Jewish fascist dictator advisor. Like, that's crazy. Imagine Goebbels is reincarnated as a Jew. I mean, maybe that's exactly what's happened. I don't know. But here we are. So I'm just going to read what Stephen Miller's uncle has said. And I'm not going to even, there's a lot of it, but this is his uncle. I have watched with dismay and increasing horror as my nephew, an educated man who is well aware of his heritage, has become the architect of immigration policies that repudiate the very foundation of our family's life in this country. It goes on. But I mean, you have to wonder, Stephen Miller is from Santa Monica. Like, he was bullied or something. He hates California. I mean, he is going crazy on the Twitter. I can't even read what he's saying because it's so many lies. It's so crazy. It's mentally unsound. And yet, you know, people are eating it up. But when I responded to one of his tweets, I had somebody say, you're a liar. Like, you're actually lying. Your state is burning to the ground. Your city is burning to the ground. And you are lying to us. And I'm like, oh my God, it is so Jonestown. Like, the believers believe. And Donald Trump is a genius for understanding that. So this is where we're at, but I need you guys to understand that, like, a lot of what you are seeing is either manufactured or has only grown in sort of the craziness as a result of the trauma of the military coming in. Like, there are thousands and thousands of National Guard. There are way more military people than there are protesters. But of course, with all the attention, then you're going to get people, and it is LA. Like, did you see this guy? You have Labubu. Labubu, my favorite topic du jour is Labubu. As you guys know who read the newsletter, I covered Labubu extensively a couple months ago. He's at the protest. Like, it is this crazy intersection of pop culture, madness, insanity, bad actors, civil protests, civic duty, and opportunists, all coming in one, like, whoosh. And it's just wild to see, but I have to say, LA is fine. The thing that I will say that is also making its rounds is the fact that Donald Trump, who was at the UFC fight a couple nights ago, we all saw it. When he was being hugged by the female fighter, I guess it like pulled his pants and you could see some like things underneath his pants. And it's been established by many on the Twitter. So I'm going to read this to you, that they believe it's a catheter bag. So Alice Vaughn has tweeted, Trump is absolutely wearing a Foley catheter. It's a tube inserted into the bladder to drain urine into a bag strapped to the leg. That line down his pants, not a crease, it's tubing. Every step he takes sounds like the sloshing of a warm Capri Sun. Okay. So now my mom, when I was little, when I was like in middle school, she told me whenever I would get intimidated, I was really nervous about this teacher. And I guess it sounds really inappropriate now, but what she taught me was when you want to make yourself less nervous around somebody that intimidates you, imagine them naked in clogs, not just naked, in clogs. And to this day, 50 years later, I envision people who intimidate me naked in clogs, as disgusting as that may be. But now all I have to do is envision them wearing these catheters, sounding like a sloshing warm Capri Sun. But there have been lots of rumors about that stuff that we don't need to know about with Trump. But it's very interesting to see all of these social media takes, like real investigators. And as we've talked about here, people in Gen Z are like Secret Service. They are like CIA. They are operatives. They are digging deep for a lot of gory details, and they get it. They get it. So I would believe Gen Z if they have like figured out that this is the scenario. So that is where I want to tell you we are at. As of right now, I'm recording this Tuesday afternoon. So far, Los Angeles has not fallen. Los Angeles is fine. I was out today. There's Pilates. There's lots of stuff. Everybody's going about their normal business. Now, I would say it's also a little weird to be going about your normal business when it does feel like democracy is falling around the corner. But there we are. Everybody is out having lunches and dinners. Nothing has changed. Los Angeles is fine. Los Angeles was once a great city, as Donald Trump said, is still a great city. And it is my adopted city, and I'm very, very happy with it. We're going to close out because we just want to have a little bit of fun, just a little bit of fun with the president and Elon's bromance that has come crashing down. Now, there are reports that they are mending the fences, but I don't know how you go from zero to pedophile and make up. Like, I don't know how you make up so quickly. And I got to be honest with you. This is a crazy thing. I'm rooting for Donald on this one. I really am. I am. Can you believe I'm saying this? If I had to choose between Donald Trump and Elon Musk as friends, tough one. I would choose Donald Trump. I know. I know that's crazy, but I actually think Donald Trump is less evil than Elon Musk. And actually, Donald Trump, again, I'm putting everything aside for the moment of time we're in. But he is a producer. He understands entertainment. He is, I think, actually way savvier in this moment than Elon is. Elon is literally like an architect of evil. Elon and Stephen Miller, I don't think, if I had to choose between the two of them, I would not choose. I would take a cyanide pill and call it a day. I'm going to be honest. But if I had to choose between Elon and DJT all day long. There were so many fucking funny takes on the breakup. And I know, I love me some Kara Swisher. Everyone knows I love me some Kara Swisher. Kara and I are dear friends. Kara is going around the press tour being like, she called this. And she did. She definitely called the breakup. But so did all of us. Because when you have two toxic males with borderline narcissistic, I don't even think borderline, narcissistic personality disorders, clear personality disorders, clear narcissism, clear sociopathy. Is that how do you say sociopathy? However you say it. Both the words work. You know it's going to end badly. It's just going to end. Neither one of them can say no to a fight, and neither one of them can be wrong. So it's going to end badly. We all knew it. I just don't think we expected it to go from zero to pedophile. And it sure did. It was unbelievable. But some of my takes, my favorite tweets are, my favorite memes are the ones around Mark Zuckerberg, like this one and this one. They're perfect. And then honestly, there's so many TikToks. I'm going to leave it with two. So Dancing Elon is my favorite, like the awkward guy who really, really, really does a good Elon impersonation. Come on.
I got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop. That fuck them up. Wop. I'ma do my.
And then I'm going to end with this little Instagram because it takes a minute. Give it its all. It is so funny and devastating at the same time. But we need a little humor.
I just thought I could change him.
You did change him. You made him worse. How did the kids take it? Yeah.
Well, X was fine, but... And the other 49 took it really badly.
Listen, babe, Mr. Far Right is out there. You just got to let him in.
Ketamine?
No, not ketamine.
Oh, but I want it! Putin just sent a text.
What did he say? Read it out.
Hey, hun, here if you need to nuke.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. They just got to think for billionaires, you know.
Really? Like, I swear, he's the most toxic ex.
Since your social media auntie.
Tilly, you are such a bitch! No.
Why don't we watch a scary movie to distract you, like Alien vs. Predator?
Oh, no, because that just reminds me of art. Oh my god, he sent me a voice note.
Don't. It's not going to help.
I have to listen to it.
Elon, it's me, Donald. I just went to meet Mark Zuckerberg. I showed him my bill. He says it's the biggest, most beautiful bill he's ever seen. Too big, actually. Hope we can still be friends, but not really.
Okay, screw it. I'm setting up a Raya. For the bio, I'm thinking, looking for commitment, but open to swinging. Like an election.
Yeah, love it.
Take a pic of me.
Wow. So good. Oh my god, babe, your rocket looks massive.
Yeah?
Do like an idiot, babe. Give us a human one. Yeah. So good, babe. He's going to be kicking himself.
I've got a match.
Wow.
Kim Jong-un.
Oh my god, send a dictator pic.
Oh my god, DJT would hate that. He's talking about me again. I'm going to send a tweet.
No, don't. Babe.
I have to send one tweet, then I'm over it, I promise.
Babe, you've got to be the bigger billionaire.
Done.
Okay, so what did you say?
I said he's on Epstein's list. Too much?
And that is it for the emergency pod. I just want everyone to know we are going to be okay. I can't promise you that the Constitution's going to be okay. I can't promise you that democracy isn't taking a hit. I can't promise you that everyone around the world is like, what the fuck happened to America? Like, you guys are crazy, literally crazy. I'm going to be in Europe next week. I am just like, do I tell people I'm Canadian? I don't know what I'm going to do. But at the end of the day, we have humor to get us through. We have also our voices, and we have to use our voices. We have to take a stand. And I'm telling you, get involved with your local communities, get involved with helping, whether it's at food banks or helping law offices, donating to funds that are funding lawyers to be pro bono in these cases for immigration issues. We have to rally. We have to come up. We can't just be using our thumbs, though that can be helpful too. We need to take a stand, whether it's through our wallets, whether it's through our voices, whether it's through our time. And so I'm going to continue talking about it. I am going to get back to the pod where it's going to be a bit more fun, I hope, come July. And that's it. I'm really grateful. And thank you, Ethan, for making this happen. He's also been sitting here holding Potato, who has been trying to make a spectacle throughout this whole extravaganza. So with that, I thank you guys, and more soon.